One of the major stories of the new year is Comprehensive Safety Analysis, or CSA 2010. It's a new carrier safety rating system that will score carriers and drivers on their roadside performance. Jeff Davis, Vice President of Safety and Human Resources for Jet Express, spoke at the most recent Driving for Profit seminar in order to help both carriers and drivers better understand the new system. To kick things off, Davis outlined 3 major changes associated with CSA 2010.
First and foremost, I think one of the first things that's going to happen is the motor vehicle record is going to be replaced. You know, I think you all call them driver abstracts up here in Canada. That has been the gold standard of performance of truck drivers throughout the ages. You know, if you get that abstract past the insurance company, it's clear sailing until renewal time again, and you really don't have to deal with it much past that. I think CSA 2010 will replace that. I call the driver abstract beatnik safety, safety from the 60s, because what's going to take its place is a whole history of safety performance of that truck driver. Just not one moment in time where the individual got a speeding ticket or a following too close ticket, but a whole history of performance that will be attached to every single truck driver. That's the first change. The second change is this driving performance, safety performance history will become the determining factor in the hiring process. In other words, a driver will be able to come to you in the future, even here in Canada. You'll be able to go in, once they sign a waiver, you'll be able to go in and see that driver's whole history of safety performance. Now, I've been interviewing drivers for about 20 years. And you know what? I'm the safety guy. And every time they come in to me, you know what the first words out of their mouth is? I'm a safe driver. I've never had a wreck. When they go to operations, you know what the first words out of their mouth is? Hey, I've never been late with a delivery. They go to billing and they say, I've never made a billing or a logging mistake in my life. You know, they're going to tell me that, hey, I'm a safe driver. But I'm going to be able to look into their history. I'm going to be able to look into their personality from their past performance, and then I'm going to have to make a hiring decision whether or not I can hire that individual. We have never faced that in trucking before. Finally, the third major change that will happen, and this will affect our truck drivers, and all of us are managers of truck drivers in this room in one way or another. This is a huge change for our driver population. We have to hold their hand. We have to spoon feed them these changes. We can't come out heavy. I'll be a little heavy today. We can't do that with our drivers because our older driving force. This is a huge change that they've never faced, and this is the change. Every 30 days, our drivers will stand before the throne of the DOT Almighty and give an account of themselves and be issued a safety rating. Every single truck driver will be issued a safety rating.
So what's behind this move by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Association? Davis helps outline their theory.
Here it is in a nutshell. Here's their theory. The agency's theory is that if you have safety event compliance, results in less riskier behavior. Less riskier behavior results in less crashes. Conversely, if you have a number of out-of-service items, non-compliance items, all right, that will lead to riskier behavior, and that riskier behavior will lead to more crashes. So what the agency is saying, what they're saying in this whole program that they're launching, that they worked on for 5 years, that's up and running in 6 states with 2 more states to join this month. What they're saying is that if a carrier is in compliance, all right, and on the roadside in their safety performance, then that's going to lead to safer behavior, which is going to lead to less crashes. Time will tell whether they're true or not. When's it going to happen? The rollout starts next July.
So what will this mean for carriers in both Canada and the U.S.?
There will be a carrier safety measurement system, all right, and there will be a driver safety management system, and your safety ratings will go from continue to operate, marginal, and unfit. Right now, we have in the state satisfactory, conditional, and unsatisfactory. Those are the three safety ratings. Under 2010, it's going to go to continue to operate, can you go back one? Yeah. It's going to go to continue to operate, marginal, and unfit. What this means, safety fans, is this. Every 30 days, the United States government, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, is going to hit one button on the computer, and they're going to do an electronic compliance review on every motor carrier, both in the U.S. and Canada. Under 2010, a motor carrier safety fitness rating is developed by the driver's roadside performance. And it's going to be looked at every 30 days. Remember I said some of you had some speeding tickets out there, some of you had some driver out of service and some equipment out of service. Those are the things that's going to determine your safety rating in the United States. Then they're going to plaster it all over the internet. They're going to tell all the shippers that you ship for, all the carriers in the U.S. that know about SafeStat in 2010, if your numbers are bad, guess what? They're going to take their good numbers in and tell them, why are you using that unsafe carrier from Canada? This thing really has legs. I'm not having talked about litigation. Hey, how would you like to be this safety director being deposed? Anybody been deposed in this room before? A couple people? Not a lot of fun, is it? How would you like to back up your safety program on a deposition stand talking about this information? The big change is motor carriers will be rated by their drivers' performance. Think about that. You know what that means? That means that we're going to have to control, manage, supervise, prevent, detect, and not allow violation of the motor carrier safety regulations to that driver holding onto the wheel, driving down the road, literally has his hands around your safety rating in the U.S. So you have to learn how to control them. You have to learn how to work with them. You have to learn to teach them to bring them into compliance. It's a huge job. This is huge. And I'll tell you, not so much the people in this room, but there's carriers in Canada and there's carriers in the United States, big name carriers, big carriers that have high numbers. And when this rock hits the pond, they're going to be in trouble. The way I like to say, the tide's going to go out and we're going to see who's swimming naked.
To see Jeff Davis's entire presentation, go to www.thedriverseat.ca, where you'll find great video not only on CSA 2010, but many other safety, compliance, and business-related issues. Thanks for watching TMTV. See you next week.